Jung quotes a text from James 3:6, "And the tongue is a fire, a wall of iniquity among our members, defiling the whole body, setting on fire the wheel of birth, and set on fire by hell." The symbolism of fire and the symbolism of the wheel are united in this text. We can understand this image of the wheel of birth or the wheel of creation as referring to the original self, the original state of wholeness to which the ego is unconsciously bound. When the process of individuation is constellated, it is required that the ego becomes conscious and disidentify from the self. To encourage the ego to do that, this unconscious ego self-identity, which is a very pleasant state of being during infancy and childhood, becomes a fiery torture. The great myth of Aion is an example of that. Aion attempted to seduce Hera, but his partner turned out to be only a cloud Hera, and he was then punished by being bound to a fiery revolving wheel. It is an image of the torture of being unconsciously identified with the self when individuation has been activated and is required of you. The ancient Orphics had the notion, similar to that of the Egyptians, that the deceased person had to answer certain questions successfully in the afterworld in order to get to the state of bliss. The deceased are told that they will come to a gatekeeper who will ask them certain questions, and the image of the will is one of the things that is supposed to be spoken of. The deceased are to identify themselves, announce who they are and what they have accomplished. Then, according to the tablets, the deceased is supposed to say to the gatekeeper, "I have flown out of the sorrowful weary wheel. I have passed with eager feet to the circle desired. I have entered into the bosom of Despina, queen of the underworld, that is Persephone. Happy and blessed one, thou shalt be God instead of mortal." The instruction ends with the remarkable statement, "A kid I have fallen into milk." It is as though once one gets past the gatekeeper, the ocean of milk is the image of heavenly bliss. But first, one has to announce, "I have flown out of the sorrowful weary wheel." This sorrowful weary wheel corresponds to what was called hemarmony, the wheel of one's own horoscope to which one is bound. As long as one is unconsciously identified with original totality, one is bound to one's archetypal destiny, the sorrowful weary wheel. To fly out of bondage to that wheel would mean psychologically to become conscious of the will of one's wholeness. Then one chooses one's archetypal destiny willingly. It is no longer unconscious bondage. It is no longer Aion's fiery torture will.